Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm the Witch of Wonderlust here on YouTube and on Instagram, and today in this video I'm going to cover what I can about centering, grounding, and earthing. These are three things that I feel like whether you're witchy or not, you could definitely benefit from. However, if you are witchy, these practices are some very important foundational practices that you should definitely have in your craft no matter what. So grab a drink and let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to cover is centering. Centering is the act of gathering all of the sporadic energy around you and bringing it back into a unified state. Essentially, it's energetically getting all of your ducks in a row. For example, say that you are walking into your job late. Your mind is racing right now. You're thinking, what is my boss going to say? What are they going to do? How many times have I been late before? Am I justified in being late? Do I have my excuse ready? How is this going to affect my job from now on? Is this going to affect the rest of my day? You get the idea. Now in this situation, your thoughts, your emotions, they're just everywhere. Think of it as buzzing static energy all around you, or just kind of like you've dumped marbles all over the place and they're just rolling around. Centering is going to bring all of that into a unified state so that it's no longer just like this. Centering helps you to unify all of the unorganized energy. It helps you step back and analyze and just observe all of the emotions, the thoughts, the impulses, the urges, so that you can sort through them clearly rather than them just clogging your mind. This is not shutting off emotions or thoughts. That's not what this is. This is sorting through each one with an objective perspective to see which one is actually of value and which one is just intrusive or temporary. It's kind of like having one person talk to you at a time rather than the whole room shout at you at once. So now, how to center. There are a few different ways to do this. I'm going to show you my method, but there are plenty of different methods out there, and at the end of the day, you're just gonna have to find something that works best for you. This is my preferred method. First, I'm gonna take a few deep breaths. I start to think of myself like I'm sitting on a bench somewhere in a park. And my thoughts and my emotions are just people passing me by. I don't need to stop these people and chat to them. I don't need to laser in and focus and see what they're wearing or obsess about where they're going. I'm just going to allow them to come into my view and back out. Then I bring my attention to my body. I bring the attention to the weight of my body on the bench or on the couch or wherever I'm sitting or standing or laying. And then I bring the attention to the feeling of support of whatever is underneath me. So maybe that's the earth, maybe that's the chair, maybe the bench or the bed. Then I'll shift my attention to whatever is happening just in my environment. I don't have a deep focus or a direct focus on any particular thing. I'm just noticing things happen. So maybe that's the cars passing me. Maybe that's the sound of the rustling of the trees. If I hear any chatter around me, whatever that is. Then to what I see. Maybe the sunlight is beaming through the window and it's just really pretty. Maybe I can smell the fresh cut grass outside, or there's coffee freshly brewing in the kitchen. Finally, I come back to how I feel. I may not be completely zen at this point, and by all means, especially if you are super upset or angry in this moment and you're trying to center, you're not going to be incredibly zen. That's not the point of this exercise. The point is to take all of that sporadic energy and unify it. It's not to make you zen. It might make you a little more zen, but that's not the point. But now I have all of my emotions and all of my thoughts separated or organized, and I can pick which one is actually of value and throw away all the ones that are not. This is much easier to sift through and process maybe a stressful situation, process what I may or may not do to react to something, process my feelings on maybe why I'm even feeling this way. But I have a much better objective approach to my situation or to my emotions compared to previously when all of my emotions and my thoughts were scattered everywhere. Centering is always good, done before spell work. Next is grounding. Like centering, there are going to be a plethora of ways to do this, but you're just going to have to experiment and find which one works best for you. Grounding is usually done after centering. It's similar to centering, but the essential use of grounding is to come back down to earth. It's going to bring you back from being in your head and back down into the physical realm and into the moment. The way I usually do this is by something super simple, eating something sweet or salty, just one of my favorite snacks, drinking tea, maybe coffee, exercising, some kind of movement, dance, stretching, something that really embodies the physical. Or something where you are interacting physically. So gardening, knitting, crocheting, sewing. There are also meditations to ground yourself, but I personally only ever use these if I have either an excess of energy that I need to get rid of, or I do not have enough energy. This is the most common way that I have read or found, and my personal preferred way of meditating to ground. So what you do is you take a few deep breaths, you settle into your space, you visualize roots from your body going into the earth like you're a plant or a tree. Then you can kind of feel that transfer of energy. So depending on what you're grounding for, say I got all worked up earlier and I need to release some energy, I'm going to do my grounding meditation, put my roots into the ground, and visualize the energy that I no longer need or that is not serving me and sending it into the earth. Or the other way around, I have a small battery as an introvert, and on certain days my battery just starts out lower than usual. So maybe I need that extra energy. I will do my meditation, plant my roots into the earth, have that transfer of energy from the earth into me. This is a good way to recharge yourself. Grounding is always done after spell work. I have heard of some friends who do grounding before spell work, but I've never done that, and I guess it depends on the intention of your spell, but personally I just feel that grounding is just something that you just do to close your ritual or close your spell work. The reason it's always done after spell work is because when you're working with energies, you're very much not completely of this physical realm. So once you're finished with that, it can be really tiring if you're just allowing your energy to kind of be, I guess, radiating still. You're still releasing energy into that space. So you want to bring yourself completely back into the physical realm. You can't pretend that you're not human and like run around with the spirits all day. That is exhausting. You need to be able to ground and recharge. This one was not in my outline, but I feel like it's very important. Shielding. Shielding is very, very, very important, and I feel like this was a very big game changer for me when I was a beginner. Shielding is the act of putting up an energetic shield. That's exactly what it sounds like. The reason you would do this is maybe you know that you're going into a stressful situation. Maybe your job drains you. When I was a waitress, I put up like 3 shields because, you know, some of the people that come in, you just need it sometimes. I usually do this in the very beginning of my day. I'll do my meditations. I will cleanse myself. If you don't cleanse yourself, you are literally just bubbling in all of that gross energy, and you don't want to do that. So make sure if you have any like gross energy, you had a nightmare, you had a bad night, whatever, cleanse yourself before you shield, okay? Okay, so a few deep breaths, center yourself, that's a good idea. And you're gonna visualize just a shield of energy. Whatever that looks like to you, it's going to be totally different for different people. You're going to visualize a shield of energy, maybe just like arm's length away, or even like elbow length away if you want, to just come up around you and completely surround you, shield that's almost kind of like an egg around you. Meditate on this for a little bit. If you don't want it to be long, then 30 seconds, something will do something, just something. 2 minutes, I usually try to go 10, 15, depending on what it is I'm shielding for, but you need to put up your shields and really visualize these shields protecting you from any negative influences, any ill wishes from other people, any negative entities that you may cross that day. Now, shielding is very interesting, and I think it's kind of fun to experiment with, especially if you're a beginner. This is a very good type of spell to experiment with because there are all different types of shields that you can use. You can put up multiple shields, you can put on skin-tight shields, you can do shields of different types. So first can be the energy type, and you can make it thicker and denser, so then nothing can come in. Be careful with that one though, because you can also block good things, so keep that in mind. You can do multiple shields if you feel like you're really gonna need that protection. Change the shields up. Maybe you can make the shield a different color one day. Maybe you can make it multiple colors. Maybe it's swirling wind the next day. Maybe it is a ring of fire the day after that. Maybe it's these spiky giant rocks around you. Maybe they're vines enclosing you. Change up the type of energy that you feel that you need and see how that interacts with your day-to-day life. So that is shielding. And remember to take your shields down at the end of the day. Energy gets stagnant, and stagnant energy is not good. So take your shield down. It's basically going to be the same way that you put them up, except you're visualizing them dispersing. So that can either just be dissolving into thin air, or it can be coming down, it can be going up, however you naturally visualize that. So that is shielding. Very, very, very important. Very important. You need to be shielding. And if you're not of the spiritual lifestyle, this is still something that I have taught some of my friends, and they have said that they've had better days at work and things don't tend to affect them emotionally or mentally as they used to. Obviously, this is not just going to block all of those things, but it does help. And lastly, this is not something that I think gets recommended very often on like forums or in books by this word. However, it does get recommended, but like subtly. What this is earthing. Earthing is similar to grounding and is sometimes referred to as grounding, but I separate these two things for a reason. Grounding is purely an energy thing, whereas earthing is a physical thing. And while grounding is bringing your mind, bringing your energy back from wherever and into the physical human realm, into your body, earthing is literally just putting bare skin, mainly your feet, straight on the earth. Due to wearing shoes, living in homes that have Wi-Fi and all these electrical fields around us, it's believed that that messes with our natural electrical field. Everything on this earth, on this magical, beautiful, wonderful earth, has a natural electric field to it. So what earthing does, and it's technically still in research, but all of the research has had some very interesting results, is it basically recharges our bodies. So running bodies of water, you may notice that you seem zen and calm and just you feel good around them. Things like rivers, creeks, waterfalls, oceans, and the surface of the earth itself all emits negative ions. Negative ions are very beneficial for us because they lower our cortisol levels, which is our natural stress hormone. They also reduce inflammation and they increase blood flow. So negative ions, they're pretty good. How do you earth? Super simple. Take off your shoes, put your feet on the ground. It's recommended that you do it for about 45 minutes a day, or at least up to 2 hours if you can. So this is literally as long as you have physical skin contact with the earth, you're earthing. You can do this in your front yard, on a beach, on a trail, in a park. Please, please be mindful if you are doing this on a trail or in a park where you're stepping, because I'm not gonna be walking around Griffith Park with no shoes unless I want a shard of glass in my foot. So please, please be careful where you're doing this. I'm told that cement is fine also if you want to earth on top of cement, as long as the cement has earth directly under it and nothing else. However, that's up for you to decide. I will leave a free documentary and a very interesting documentary down below that is here on YouTube if you want to check out more. Also here, if you want to check out more about earthing. It's super interesting. So, when to use these methods? Centering. to be used when you are feeling overwhelmed and when your energy is all dispersed, or feeling like any of your thoughts are unclear. Energetically getting all of your ducks in a row. This is best used when you need an objective stance on something. Grounding, used after spells or rituals to bring your energy, your mindset back to the physical realm and into your body. Or to release excess energy or to recharge your battery. Shielding. Shielding is used to protect yourself from daily influences, negative entities, or negative or unwanted energies. Just remember to take it down at the end of the day. Earthing, a good daily practice where you are physically interacting with the earth, helping to balance hormones, reduce inflammation, and increase blood flow. So as I said before, all of these practices are very helpful whether you are practicing or not. However, these are not solve-all methods. Centering is not going to make you magically no longer upset or angry. Grounding is not going to completely rid you of anxiety or be a fallback if you've had too much coffee or not enough sleep. Shielding will not completely stop people from being assholes to you. Sorry. It's also not going to completely stop bad luck. However, it does help. These are precautions. Preventative magic is the best kind of magic. These will be staples in your craft, learning to direct and control energy around you, starting with your own. I hope this video helped any of those who are just starting out, or maybe you just have never heard of any of these methods before. That is all for this video, and as always, I will see you next week. Best of luck, be kind to each other, and may your gods treat you as you've treated others. Bye.